What's up, guys? Welcome to New World, Old Problems, and today we're talking about student rioting. In early February 2017, leftist rioters racked up over $100,000 worth of damages at UC Berkeley. The rioters were protesting against right-wing pundit Milo Yiannopoulos, who was scheduled to speak at the university. Following the event and the demonstrations after the Trump inauguration, rioting, especially student rioting, has been a hot topic in the news, and rightfully so. These events are definitely newsworthy, and it sparks an interesting and well-needed conversation. Student rioting should be taken seriously, but make no mistake, it is nothing new. One could definitely make the case that student rioting is becoming increasingly concerning in recent years. But compared to student riots of the Middle Ages, these riots are child's play. And in one of history's many tragic ironies, these violent medieval riots played a paramount role in shaping many aspects of the university system we know today. So let's take a look at one of the most violent riots in university history and see how it relates to today.
The St Scholastica Day Riot.
Let's kick it back to February 10th, 1355. It's Tuesday, and thus a non-lecture day at Oxford University. Two scholars are boozing it up at the Swindlestock pub, and they're not happy about the quality of the brew. They complained using, quote, snappish words, and as if that wasn't enough, they throw their drinks in the bartender's face and beat him up. The townspeople are furious, and turn to the mayor for help. But the university is out of his jurisdiction, and there's nothing he can do. Instead of getting arrested, the scholars go out looking for more drama. They ring the church bell and summon over 200 scholars to surround the tavern and brawl with the locals. The university's chancellor flees, but the mayor is stuck around and he gets assaulted himself. The mayor is pissed. The next day, he rides out to the countryside to rally support. At this point, the scholars haven't given up either, and continue rioting in spite of the Chancellor's call for peace. Not to be outdone by the scholars, the townspeople assembled dozens of archers to attack Oxford's exercise yard. Arrows rained down on the scholars, many of whom were not even rioters. Meanwhile, the mayor has managed to rally over 2,000 countryfolk who charge into town and clash with the scholars. Much blood has been spilled, but the real shitstorm is just on the horizon. On Thursday, the townspeople and country folk storm Oxford, mercilessly beating and killing scholars. Clerics are scalped, and victims are left to bleed out in the streets and in filthy prison cells. The situation is bad. So bad that King Edward III gets involved. Edward assembles a team of judges to investigate. Thankfully for the university, Edward understands scholarship to be of critical importance, especially to government and the military. If only politicians thought this way these days.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Edward rules in favor of the university, and what a ruling. He even goes as far as to declare scholars immune from prosecution, a privilege envied by today's student rioters. Furthermore, he allowed students to gather their property back. King Edward in fact put his foot down so hard in favor of the students that the town is required to pay reparations, a tradition that was symbolically continued until 1825 when the mayor flat out refused. It wasn't until the 600th anniversary of the riots in 1955 that the vice chancellor and mayor officially exchanged honors in consolidation. This probably all seems like a strange and unlikely series of events. And while I'll grant strange, it certainly was not unlikely. See, while the St Scholastica Day riot was a particularly horrific event, violence at medieval universities, especially Oxford, was rampant. What is truly amazing is that your school, college, or university shares in the legacy of this violence. Take, for instance, the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor. The first mention of a Chancellor or Vice Chancellor, as well as a host of other commonplace administrative offices, was in a 1214 Oxford document. A document intended to settle, you guessed it, a violent riot. It will then come as no surprise that dorm advisors, class attendance sheets, and principals all originated in response to the violent hooliganry of students in the Middle Ages. So my university and yours owe much of their administrative structure to deadly student riots, just like the St Scholastica Day riot. Ironically, many student riots today also occur on the feast day of a pious saint, a day that's coming up soon. I don't really have much to preach about at the end of this episode, but I will say, put things into perspective, whether you hear it from townsfolk or the media. Take things lightly, no need to be pompous all the time. And most importantly, before you throw a brick through a shop window this St. Patrick's Day, think of your least favorite school administrator and think, do I really need another one of them kicking around? This is New World, Old Problems. Cheers, scholars.